must a man walk down?
Gillian Laub's career in photography started out in an almost dreamlike fashion, but soon took a much more serious turn as her art and her interests began to collide.
I got really lucky right out of school. I dropped my book off blindly to the New York Times Magazine, and that next week I was put on a cover assignment. So I was doing all the work that I never dreamed I'd be doing, and September 11th happened. I was put on assignment from Newsweek to go to people's homes that had lost their families in the towers. That actually changed everything because I realized the power of photography. Because here I was, a stranger, walking into mourning. They actually still think that their loved one is going to walk in the door, hoping. And I was so fearful walking into their homes. I mean, how do you face strangers that you don't know that just lost, their most loved people in their lives? So they were thanking me because the picture was going to be put out in the magazine so they could help find their loved one. So somebody, if they saw them. So I just felt as if a photograph had a purpose, a larger purpose. So that was one thing. Secondly, it was the beginning of the second Intifada. And I have a lot of friends that are not Jewish, and a lot of people working in the media, and you bring up Israel, and it's arguments, opinions, and I actually felt like, how do I have an opinion? Just because I'm Jewish, I have an opinion, and just because I'm Jewish, I have to support Israel? I don't know. I want to know what it is I'm talking about. It's my duty to be, firsthand, and why not explore my personal interests with my profession and my art. So I went to Israel with the determination to do something, and I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do, but I felt somehow a responsibility as a photographer and as a Jew to explore something about Israel and my own identity as a Jew.
Why go to Israel? I mean, you live in one of the biggest Jewish cities in the world. Why go there to look for your Jewish identity?
Whenever I came back from Israel, I would always feel as if I needed to incorporate Judaism into my life more in New York. So somehow, little by little, I don't know, I'm working on it.
So working on what? On being more observant? Or being more immersed in the culture? What?
I don't think it's a coincidence that I'm marrying somebody whose parents are Israeli.
Okay.
When I was younger, I thought it wasn't important for me to marry a Jew. In fact, I wanted to rebel against that. And as I got older, it seemed more important for me to find. Because it's a shared history. We're all crazy, fucked up people.
That I can agree with, I have to say.
We're nuts. So I feel most at home with somebody who's equally as complicated and fucked up.
Do you enjoy being, Jewish nuts fucked up?
I think I can't live without it. It's just what feels natural to me.
I've been talking to several American Jews in the past 2 weeks. Whenever I ask them about their Jewish identity, boom, Israel comes up. Why is Israel so central to American Jewish identity?
Honestly, you are speaking to people that Israel is so important to them. But I have friends that have no interest in ever going to Israel that are Jews. They don't want to be affiliated.
But they have an interest in Jewish identity outside of Israel?
Nope.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No.
The people who are interested in Jewish identity.
Not Woody Allen.
Not Woody Allen.
Woody Allen could care less about Israel.
Well,
okay, but I mean, it's where look, there's this. I don't have. It just. How do you explain? It feels like home. It feels that's where. If I didn't have all my family and friends here, that's where I would feel at home.
So you went to Israel and you didn't know to begin with what you wanted to do. What drew you to the victims on both sides?
I was trying to almost stay away from politics almost, you know, taking pictures by the beach, and I thought that I was going to be the antithesis of the answer to all the horrific pictures you were seeing in the news. So I was seeking out images that you wouldn't necessarily associate with Israel. Happy pictures, spirited pictures, living, filled with life, and to me that's so much of what Israel is about, this spirited, willful place. So something changed because at a time that I was there, there were many, many bombings, and I realized, who am I kidding? You know, I'm kidding myself. I have to somehow address this, and I had no idea how I was going to address it. So I went to Tel Shemer Hospital, to the rehab clinic, and I met people that had been
in terrorist attacks.
In terrorist attacks. And this one woman, Kinneret, who changed my life. I went into her room, and I kind of felt silly because I didn't know what to say.
She was burned pretty badly.
She was burned in like 80% of her body, and she was a bartender at the coffee shop on Allenby Street. And she was this gorgeous girl, gorgeous. Had her whole life in front of her. I felt physically sick when I saw her. I mean, completely deformed. Everything was oozing out, and she could barely open her eyes, but she had this smile that I will never forget. I will never forget. And here's all of this. I'm seriously going to be like, I get upset when I think about it, because here's, you know, this whole political situation happening. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone's so opinionated about it, and they know what's best for what should get done. Everyone has the answer. But here's this girl, an innocent civilian, and she is burned from head to toe, and she has a smile on her face, and she says, I'm lucky to be alive. I mean, what? So it's like, if this person, you know, everyone, she has something to give. She has something to share. She is actually living the wounds from what's going on, and she has hope and forgiveness and compassion. So this is a woman that I felt like people need to learn from her. So that's when I felt I have to do something. So I got a grant from World Press Photo. The title, so appropriate, was called Enough. So that began that part of the project where I photographed people that were survivors of terrorist attacks.
And what did you learn?
Every single person that I had met that was in some kind of, they were maimed, wounded severely, it seemed like they all had forgiveness and compassion, and I don't know, I was blown away. So I learned that people need to learn from them.